Leveling up. Extreme business growth through raising your game. When what was once extraordinary becomes ordinary, you know you've leveled up.
Hello, this is George Swift from Bigger Brighter Bolder, and welcome to the Leveling Up podcast. The Leveling Up podcast is here to give you the personal development, the entrepreneurial development, and the business growth that you, the ambitious business owner, desires. I'm here to give you the inspiration, the motivation, but above all else, to challenge your aspirations to take you and your business to the next level. Don't forget to subscribe to this podcast and never miss an episode. And this episode marks part one of our three-part trilogy, our theme this week, which is all about how do you scale from a small business. When we're talking small businesses, for the purpose of this week, we are talking about one-man bands, maybe two-people businesses, fundamentally where the people that own the business are still the ones doing the majority of the roles within that business. They're delivering front end to their clients. They're also the people that are doing sales activity. They're also running the business, etc., etc., etc. If you are a bigger business, you will still, I'm sure, get plenty out of this series. However, just bear in mind, this was specifically designed for that small business. If you are a one-man band or equivalent and you want to know how do you scale your business out of that small business mold that you might find yourself trapped in, and how do you scale your business into something much more substantial, how do you start to build an empire, or just how do you build a business that's going to finally deliver to you the lifestyle that you want? So one where you're not necessarily working 50, 60, 70, 80, 100 hours a week in, where you're getting the financial rewards that you want, but you're also getting that lifestyle that you want. So whether you are building that lifestyle business or whether you are going on to build that business empire, the steps I'm going to outline for you this week are going to be the ones that you need to be thinking about and focused on in order to make that first big leap out of that small business mold. Part one is all about pricing, and it's about pricing as a business, not pricing as an individual. This is going to be a trap that many service-based businesses find themselves in. It's a trap that product businesses find themselves in as well. However, when it comes to pricing a product, it seems a little bit easier on the surface, because if it costs me 50 quid to make this product, I sell it for 75 or 100 or whatever you need to make it. You mark up that price. When you're a service-based business, of course, it's not quite as simple as that, because you might not have any real costs associated with delivery. You might have some basic, generic, ongoing costs that you have, fixed costs in your business. But when it comes to delivering your service, if you're a service-based business, it's time, your life. And many people really struggle to know how to price that up. Now, the truth of the matter is, I find generally across my success groups, across small business owners that I come across, they're undercharging. Okay, now I get why that would be. It's because it's just you working from home and you gave up your corporate job or you went back to work for yourself. Why would you charge the same as a bigger business that has staff costs, that has premises costs, a bigger business that maybe is more established and therefore has a better reputation, etc., etc.? Why would you charge as much as them? I get it. And fundamentally, when we start up small businesses, we kind of win business a lot of the time because we're pretty inexpensive. Quite often, we're certainly cheaper than a lot of the competition, certainly those more well-established businesses that have premises and staff, etc. So we price based on us and our time. So you might price yourself out, for example, at £40 per hour, £50 an hour, £100 an hour, whatever it is. You say, right, that's the going rate, that's the market value, or you feel that's a fair price given it's you and it's just you and it's just your time after all, etc., etc. And there lies in the first trap from scaling your business. You see, whilst you are still charging just enough money for you, there's never going to be enough money in the pot in order to pay someone else to do that delivery. And if you want to scale your business, if you want to grow your business, one of the things you're going to have to do is you're going to have to get yourself out of some of, if not all of that delivery. At some point, you're going to have to elevate yourself through the business, through the organization, which is the topic for part 3 of this series, which I'll go into a lot more detail in episode 216. But fundamentally, how are you ever going to be able to afford to have anyone else in your business if all you're charging for is enough for you to live off? So the first question I want you to ask yourself right now is actually, are you charging enough to pay someone else to be able to do that work? How much would it cost you to get someone else to do that work? So if you're charging £40 an hour and you say, well, if I was going to outsource this work, I'd have to pay £50 an hour because you're not even charging market rates, then you can see your ability to scale this business is massively limited. Now, the chances are, as a small business, you're not going to go from just being you in the business to suddenly hiring full-time staff. Unless you've got money behind you, unless someone's putting investment in your business or you've got savings of some sort, the chances are you have to organically grow your business. And that's really the theme of this week, is how do you organically grow this business? In other words, you've got to earn the money to reinvest that money in order to scale your business. A really good first step in that process is to outsource some of the delivery. But if you're outsourcing the delivery, then of course you've got to pay someone for their time. And if you're only charging enough, you're only charging based on an individual, you're only charging or pricing based as an individual rather than based on being a business, there'll be no fat in that pricing to enable you to outsource that work, which means now you're continually trapped in delivering that work. So guess what? You have to start pricing based on being a business. How much would you need to charge if you had a premises? How much would you need to charge if you had to pay someone else to do that work? The chances are it's going to be considerably, if not substantially, significantly, certainly a bit more than what you're charging right now. So you're going to have to start raising your prices. And this is a trap that a lot of small businesses find themselves in. They just don't raise their prices enough because they still think like a one-man band. They still think like a home business. And therefore, of course, when you're selling products like a home business, you're pricing like a home business, you're never going to be able to grow out of being a home business. So you need to start pricing based on where you're heading, which is to grow your business into a proper, if I can say that, inverted commas business, and therefore your pricing needs to reflect that. So how much would you need to charge? If you're charging 50 quid an hour because that's what you need to live and that's what you've been pricing for the last 12 months on, or 18 months or 2 years, or since you conceived your business however many years ago, the question is really simple. Well, how much would you need to charge if you had someone else doing the work for you? Outsourcing is a good first step, but obviously if they want £50 as well, you're not going to get away with charging £50. Now, I would argue if you're going to outsource this work, you shouldn't be paying full market rate for outsourcing, because fundamentally any person that does what you do, if they don't have to pay for marketing or sales and they can just do the work, they shouldn't be charging as much as you, okay? So you should be able to get them cheaper than what you're charging right now, unless habitually you've been consistently undercharging what you're worth. So we have to get your pricing up to what you're worth first and foremost. Then we have to increase your pricing to what it needs to be if you were a bona fide business, so that you can become a bona fide business. So work out how much that is. It's probably going to scare you a little bit. It might not. But the good news is, even before you take that person on, before you scale your business up, before you take on any premises, the good news is you'll be getting more money than you are right now, more profit than you are right now, and you can start to sit on that cash. You can start to grow that cash so that you can then use that to invest back in the business when the time's right. It might not be immediate right now. What might be the first step might be to invest in other aspects of your business, to offload some of the other work that you're doing that's stopping you from doing sales and stopping you from doing delivery. So if you spend, for example, a number of hours per day or per week doing, updating your social medias or writing blogs or managing your website, doing your accounts, your payroll, your bookkeeping, you want to start getting rid of that stuff as fast as possible. If you've got enough fat in your pricing to be able to afford that, it's really good investment to offload that from you so that you now can do more delivery. At the very least, that's a good first step. Get your ass in the sales seat, do more sales, do more delivery, then raise your prices so that you're making enough money in order to invest into people in the future, and then you'll start to grow the cash deposit, the cash funds that you need to in order to scale your business. You can start to see how this gets you out of this trap. This trap of, I can't afford to employ someone else, so I must do it all myself. I can't afford to outsource this. I can't afford to hire. We want to get that out of the way, get that off the table so that we can start looking, instead of what we can't do, we look at what we can do. What we can do, we can raise some prices, we can increase sales activity, we can increase delivery activity, we can offload some support, some admin, some things that aren't that expensive to get other people to do, bookkeeping, etc. I'm going to focus on sales and delivery. I'm going to focus on raising my prices, which means I need to stop being lazy around my pricing. So instead of saying, I'm cheap and winning business that way, you're going to have to start pricing yourself in a place where you're going to have to compete for business. You're going to have to justify your prices. You're going to have to go out and position yourself to the marketplace. Go back over this podcast, right? There's many episodes where I talk about how to position yourself and elevating your position to raise your prices, to win more business for sure, and also to make you more valuable to the marketplace, which means you get to increase your pricing. So you want to increase your prices because if you're charging more than what you need, there's surplus there. That surplus is what's needed to invest back in the business, but also that surplus is what enables you to remove you from delivery at some point, put somebody else in delivery. They can still earn what they need to earn, and there's still enough profit in that for you to continue to grow and run your business. So I see so many small businesses, especially those one-man bands, where they're out there, they do the delivery, they do their sales activity where they can, do some early morning networking, they cram everything else in the evenings and around the weekend, etc. And they're trapped. And even when they're relatively successful, making a decent enough income, they're trapped because it's not enough to grow or scale their business. If you want to organically grow your business, you do need cash, but you're not going to have just suddenly 50 grand to invest in your growth. You're going to have to do it bit by bit. Invest in outsourcing, some support work, admin work, other things that stop you from doing sales and delivery. Double down on sales and delivery. You'll make more revenue. You'll make more money. Raise your prices so you're making more profit, which means you're building an infrastructure, you're building a framework that enables somebody else to come in and do the delivery. They can earn their wage, their salary, and the business still makes the money that it needs to as well. So I know this is going to be really challenging for a lot of small business owners because that mindset might be firmly fixed, which is it's just me at home. It's just me in my back bedroom. It's just me working from the conservatory, from the garage. So you're going to have to level up in terms of your mindset and your attitude. You have to see yourself as the business that you are becoming. You're going to have to think of yourself as the business that you are becoming, and you're going to have to do the work that you might get away with not doing now as a one-man band, but the work that you would inevitably have to do if you were a bigger business, such as raising your positioning, getting your proposition right, getting the justifications in place. I mean that in terms of your business justifications for your prices. I don't mean excuses. I don't mean trying to justify why you're so expensive, but you need to be able to position your products and your services in a way, position your business in a way that justifies the price that you're asking for. This is all stuff you're going to have to do down the line as your business gets bigger. For precisely this reason, you can't be the cheapest business on the block if you have staff to pay, etc. A really good competitive advantage for the startup business, the one-man band, the two-person band, is that you do get to undercut the prices of those bigger businesses. If you want to become one of those bigger businesses, however, that strategy no longer works. It's no longer a viable strategy. So you have to now start charging the sort of money they're charging. And then you have to now do the work that they do in order to justify that pricing to the marketplace. So part one of our 3-part series of scaling out of being a small business is you've got to look at your pricing, you've got to raise your pricing, you've got to charge what you need to charge in order to be able to grow that business. There's going to be some other work you might have to do in the background in order to make that possible. You may have to adjust slightly your market, your audience, your avatar. You might have to adjust your marketing, your positioning statements. You might have to look at your overall proposition in order to be able to raise your prices and start to justify the prices that you need to charge. Get those prices up, use that money, reinvest that money back into the business, and you want to pull more and more into sales. Now, this is going to be our conversation for part 2 of this 3-part series. You're going to have to pull yourself, probably kicking and screaming, into sales at the expense of giving up some of that delivery. Initially, you're going to give up the support roles, you're going to give up all those things that aren't sales and delivery. Then you're going to have to back out of delivery and focus on sales. And I will see you, part 2, in episode 215, when I'm going to be talking specifically about that very thing. Scaling a business is not easy. It's always going to have its challenges, but fundamentally, we've got to remove the restrictions in place that are making it unnecessarily difficult. This is my aim, my objective, my purpose through this trilogy of episodes this week. If you are serious about growing your business, don't forget Success Groups is here for precisely those purposes. We help small business owners just like you, from businesses just launching to getting going, getting that momentum building to make sure that they've got a business that's going to take them to the next level. The challenge is to build a business that hits 100K. We've got business owners who have been around a little while, maybe doing 30, 40, 50, 60K revenues and want to break that 100K mark first and foremost, then go on and build their empires or to buy back the lifestyle that they wanted when they set up their businesses. And we also have groups with business owners that are breaking consistently over 100K in turnover who want to substantially scale their businesses, whether that's aiming for their £1 million turnover or just substantially growing those revenues over the next 12 months or so. Depending on where you are on your own business journey, we've got groups of ambitious business owners ready right now to join you on that path, on that journey. We help you set goals, get clarity. We help you with the mechanics of your business model, your pricing, your proposition. We help you with your marketing. We help you with sales. We motivate you, we inspire you, we hold you accountable. We support you through the tough times. We reward you in the good times. And we're creating something incredible. If you want to join a group of ambitious, like-minded business owners that are all dealing with their own demons, all taking on their own challenges and growing their businesses consistently, regardless of what's going on out there in the world right now, the chaos that surrounds us, then we have groups that are going to be perfect for you on that journey. If you want to check us out, go to biggerbrighterbolder.co.uk. You can read up all about us. If you're ready for a conversation, my partner in life and in business, Tracy Miller, would love to hear from you. You can email her, tracy.miller@biggerbrighterbolder.co.uk. I'll drop the links in the description of this episode. You'll also find some other links there for some other resources to help you on your ongoing journey to success. I will see you next time. Until then, as always, be successful.
Leveling up. Extreme business growth through raising your game. When what was once extraordinary becomes ordinary, you know you've leveled up.